Hi everyone, hope you're all doing good. Right, okay, so this is the fifth round draw for the 23rd edition of the Tapology Lucky Bastard Game. And in this fifth round, we only have two left. Uh, four last time out, and just two this time, sliced in half. And Yep, the final two remaining in this, just to remind ourselves, is A, like my arse off a nazi, or however it's pronounced, and Foghorn Sam. So obviously, because it's the last two, there's it throws a bit of an interesting situation into this round because the three outcomes that can happen are obviously if both of them get drawn winning fighters, then they both go through, and there's a sixth round. Those two face each other again. If one of them has a winning fighter, the other loses, and obviously the one with the winning fighter wins the whole game. And of course, if both have losing fighters, the wheel ends up winning it, which, needless to say, is probably the least desirable outcome of the lot. So let's see what this round's got in store for them. Anyway, um, for this round, we have UFC 307, Alex Pereira versus Khalil Roundtree, and it's an odd title fight, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's a lot of the talk has been about whether or not Khalil Roundtree deserves the title shot. I suppose in terms of the rankings, it probably doesn't make too much sense, if I'm being honest. But it's going to be a fun fight, that's for sure, because both strikers primarily, really. It's particularly well, obviously, Pereira's got his left hook Larry, isn't he? That's how he's been knocking out a lot of his opponents as of late. But he's shown to be a much more elite striker, hanging in the likes of Hiri Prochaka, particularly. As for Roundtree, not quite fighting the same level of opposition, really, but to be fair, he has been knocking out the people he's faced for the most part. Anthony Smith, for instance, but well, let's be honest, light heavyweight, you pretty much have to knock out Anthony Smith to get a title shot, don't you? Really, it's a bit of an odd situation he finds himself in. But um, but yeah, overall, it's just a case of there's no way this goes the distance. That's for sure. One of them's knocking each other out, and it just seems far more likely that it's going to be Alex Pereira, particularly with his kickboxing background, knocking out Khalil Roundtree. I suppose maybe, yeah, Khalil Roundtree could get a shock win, but if he lands first, but I can't really see it happening, to be honest. Pereira's chin's better than that, so yeah, it could be a bit of a one-sided title fight. This one. But anyway, you're not here to listen to my rambles about UFC 307. You're here to see who you're getting drawn with in the Lucky Bastard game. And of course, you'll be pleased to know that uh, we're on the right screen, aren't we? Yeah, there we go. You'll be pleased to know just because obviously there's two of you, it limits how much I can ramble, in theory. Anyway, A is first up. Let's see who he gets drawn with. And he gets Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison, therefore, A there, and well, let's be honest, that's almost a certainty, isn't it? Is she realised she's sort of coming to the UFC. She's spent ages in the PFL, but she's sort of blitzed through pretty much everybody there, and that's pretty much what she's done in the UFC with a win over submission win over Holly Holm, and massive favourite. I think she's probably the biggest favourite on the card. Minus 1,000 and something or betting odds. I can't remember exactly what it was, but up against Ketlin Vieira, who, yeah, okay, she's a tough opponent. She's certainly not an easy fight for anyone at bantamweight, but it's just this is a mismatch, really. Let's just be honest. Just let's just call a spade a spade. I just can't see any reasonable way Ketlin Vieira gets a win over Harrison. Maybe if she can drag it out long enough to a decision, perhaps, but that's still quite a bit of a long shot. I just can't see that happening, to be honest. So, long story short, I reckon A's pretty much going to. Well, see, it depends who Foghorn Sam gets drawn with, because if Foghorn Sam gets another good one, but then I reckon we're certain to see another round, or at the very least, A's in a very good position to win. So yeah, that's a very good pick. Probably the best A could have hoped for, really. Um, yeah. And speaking of Foghorn Sam, let's see if he can get anyone to match that. See if he gets drawn a winning fighter or another certainty. Oh, and he gets Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. That is, yeah, that's an interesting one. Up against Joaquin Buckley. Um, Stephen Thompson, obviously a fan favourite, very entertaining fighter, but I've actually got Joaquin Buckley for this one. Funny enough, by decision, um, simply because they're both primarily strikers, so you'd think that, and it could still very well end up one of them sparks the other out. And if I'm being honest, in this day, that's probably Stephen Thompson's best chance of victory, really. But so Buckley, I reckon overall he's just the at this moment in time the better fighter. I certainly wouldn't have said that a couple of years back, but yeah, no, right now I've just think that a little bit sharp, a little bit crisper, a little bit but just better overall. Not quite good enough to knock out Thompson, though, I don't think. I think he's proven time and again he can fight through adversity. He's got his chin's solid. Yeah, especially given some of the wars he's been in. It's amazing how well his chin has held up. But so I can't see Buckley finishing Thompson, but having said that, I can't. Thompson's not completely out of it. I've done unlike the other one I said, I can't see any chance of it winning. That's not entirely true at all. I think he's the underdog, but only slightly. He still has a very decent chance of winning. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I think it's you got basically A with a heavy favourite or a certain banker with Foghorn Sam with a slight underdog. So that concludes the second round draw. So yeah, so I was going to say run over the names again just to remind you, but if you've already forgotten, frankly, go get that checked out with the doctor because that's not normal to have that short term memory. But yeah, we got A with Kayla Harrison and Foghorn Sam with Stephen Thompson. So going back to the preconditions for what happens in this situation, which my prediction is that I can't see the wheel winning it. That's or at least not this week anyway. So that's a good thing. I reckon A's probably going to win this. It's got Kayla Harrison, who's almost certain to at least take him to the next round. She's almost certain to win, and it really comes down to whether Stephen Thompson wins or not. That's pretty much what this boils down to, in my opinion. I think Thompson's nearly a 50-50 fight. I'd say nearly, but probably more like 40-60. But that'll be the fight to watch, really. Stephen Thompson versus Joaquin Buckley. Obviously, if they both win, they both go through, and we repeat the process again next week. If just one of them has a winning fighter, then obviously they're the champion. We start a new game, or somehow Kayla Harrison does lose and Stephen Thompson also loses, then the wheel wins, which that would just be tragic. We don't want to see that shit. But yeah, so that's basically it. Not really a lot can add on to that. So all it leaves me to say now is just good luck to you two. Good luck with to everyone else watching with your Tapology bets or Tapology picks or any bets you got on this card. And yeah, until next time, whether it's a new game or whether it's the same game but being continued. So long for now.